Hey guys, it's Daphne and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be starting a new series, which is my budget series. I know that when I was planning my Southeast Asia trip, one of my biggest stressors was my budget. I wanted to know exactly how much I needed to save, what I would be spending in a month, what I would be spending within 24 hours, and it can get very overwhelming very quickly, especially if you've never done something like this before, never gone on a solo backpacking trip or even just a budget trip in general. It can get a little confusing really quickly. So I decided that I was going to track my budget to the dollar very diligently, not only so that I could have an idea of where I was at with my spending, but also so that I could share it with you guys. I know how much these videos helped me while I was planning my backpacking trip, so I wanted to contribute a little bit and help you guys out with your budget. Alrighty, so this is how the video is going to be broken down. I will be breaking this down into categories. I'm going to start with the category that I spent the most money on, all the way down to the category I spent the least money on. Then for each of those categories, I will give you a total spent and a daily average spent. Does that make sense? Okay, still following? And then at the end, I am going to do my total spent for the entire country, as well as my daily average spent for the entire country. Got it? If you don't, it's okay, because you'll get it while we're going. Now, two major disclaimers here. My trip to Thailand only consisted of the north of the country. So I went to Bangkok and made my way up north. If you are going to the South Islands, your budget may look very different from this. I have heard from other travelers that the south of Thailand can get a little bit pricier on the daily than the north of the country. But I personally cannot attest to that, seeing as I have not been to the south of the country yet. And if you are looking for a budget for the south of the country, don't worry, that is coming eventually. I will be going to the south of Thailand in a few months, so that will be available to you at some point, hopefully, unless something goes wrong. I don't know. Disclaimer number 2. I personally do not drink alcohol. So if you do drink alcohol, your category of food and drink might be significantly higher than mine. Alcohol is never something that I had to budget for. I know that alcohol is still very cheap while you're in Thailand, but that is not something that is considered in my budget, so make sure you keep that in mind, because you might look at my food and drink category and go, oh, that's easy. But if you want to go out and you want to party and you want to drink, you're going to be spending significantly more than what I spent in my time there. Okay, now, oh my god, why am I so embarrassing? Okay, now that we have all of those disclaimers out of the way and we have an idea of exactly how this video is going to be broken down, let's get into the actual bulk of the video. I spent a total of 27 days in the north of Thailand, and I want you to close your eyes and think right now, what category do you think I spent the most money in? The answer is activities, which I'm happy with. That's kind of the goal, is to spend the most money and time doing fun stuff. The activities category includes things such as tours, excursions, entrance to temples and different museums, as well as a multi-day trek that I did. Now, things like tours and excursions can be anywhere between 20 Canadian dollars to 60 Canadian dollars. Entrance to temples can range from $1.50 to about $5 Canadian. And then my most expensive excursion was actually a 3-day trek with Chiang Mai trekking, which was pretty much all included except for drinks such as alcohol and soft drinks when you were at the homestays. And now the total that I spent on activities was 352 Canadian dollars, which for 27 days in Thailand and for the amount that I was able to experience, that is an incredible price. And from the 350 odd dollars that I spent on activities, my daily average for activities was around 20 Canadian dollars. Activities are quite affordable in Thailand, especially if you book directly with the tour agency or with your hostel. One recommendation that I have for you is absolutely 100% do not book on TripAdvisor. TripAdvisor significantly hikes up the price of all of the tours. I understand if you feel like you have to book things in advance, especially if you only have a limited amount of time within the country. But I will also say that in Thailand, you can book tours literally the day before or even 2 days before if you want a little bit of extra time, and it's always going to be open. Like, I have never run into a situation where I go to book a tour and somebody has said, oh, that's full, and sorry, you're gonna need to wait until next week. Like, it doesn't happen. So I would highly recommend not booking on TripAdvisor and not booking online ahead of time, because you are going to get the better deals on everything when you are physically in the country. All right, and that is category number 1 done. Our second place category is food. That was to be expected. I love food, and Thailand is literally food heaven. Oh my goodness. Honestly, I think the best food that I found was probably in Chiang Mai, to be totally honest with you. I had one of the best khao sois in the entire world, I'm pretty sure, and it only cost me like $1 Canadian, which is insane. Now, this category includes food, drink, and anything that I got from the convenience store, like water, snacks, things like that. And the total that I spent on food and drink in 27 days in Thailand is 333 Canadian dollars. One thing, I wasn't going crazy cheap on all of my meals. I would splurge on a little bit more of an expensive meal, and by expensive I mean like 5 to 7 Canadian dollars. But I think if you only ate street food strictly for an entire month, you could probably bring that down quite a bit. And remember, you do need to factor in your alcohol, because I do not drink. So my daily average on food is only $11.50 per day. Per day, $11.50. That is crazy. That would literally get you like a Subway sandwich, not even a foot long in Canada. So $11.50 per day on food is absolutely amazing. I'm super happy with that. And it was some of the best food that I've ever had in my entire life. So go Thailand. I loved it. And category number 3 is accommodation. That was to be expected. Activities, food, and accommodation are going to be the 3 top things that you will be spending your money on. And honestly, the fact that accommodation came in 3rd out of those big 3, I'm pretty happy with that. And the most impressive thing about that fact is that I wasn't staying in bad hostels. I was staying in very nice hostels. I don't think I stayed at anything that was rated less than a 9.0 on Hostel World the entire time that I was in Thailand. I was even able to get a private room in Pai for 8 whole days, and even still after that, accommodation comes in 3rd place out of the big 3. That's pretty impressive. Now, the grand total that I spent on accommodation in my 27 days in Thailand was $311. $311, that's very impressive, seeing as 2 nights in a hotel in the place where I live would cost you about $400. So yeah, the accommodation really impressed me. I thought I would be spending the most money on accommodation, and it turns out that was not the case. So I am very happy with that fact. And the daily average of what I spent on accommodation was actually only 10 Canadian dollars. So you can expect to spend anywhere between like 7 Canadian dollars. I think the most expensive place that I got was 20 Canadian dollars. So it can average quite a bit, but every place you get for that money is going to be really good. I stayed in some really nice places, and usually, yes, I was staying in dorm beds, but the hostels were really nice. Category number 4 is transportation, which I actually spent like significantly less on than the other categories, which is incredible. This is actually the first category that dips below $300. This is going to be local transportation, so things like buses, trains, Grabs, all of that. I did not include my flight costs in this budget, so keep that in mind. And the total that I spent on transportation is 242 Canadian dollars. Transportation is very cheap in Thailand. You are going to be spending probably like 5 to 7 Canadian dollars on a 4-ish hour bus ride. The most expensive transportation that I took by far in the country was my sleeper train from Bangkok to Chiang Mai. I believe that cost me around 36 Canadian dollars. Aside from that, it was all relatively small, and I did travel around quite a lot. I took quite a few buses in the country, so $240-ish is a really good price. Another thing that this includes is all of my Grabs and my Grab bikes. I did take quite a few of those because it was so cheap, especially when you can split a Grab between multiple people. It ends up working out very cheap comparatively. And one of my favorite guilty pleasures in Asia is to get a Grab bike. I love being on the back of a motorcycle, so these Grab bikes, if I'm by myself and I gotta get somewhere, I'm like, okay, I'm taking a Grab bike. That's what I'm gonna do, because I love it and it's fun and it makes me feel part of the chaos, even though it can get quite scary at times because some of these drivers are a little bit reckless, but that's okay. And the daily average for transportation is only $8.30 Canadian. That's impressive. Yeah, I don't have much else to say about that other than that's impressive. The next category that I have, category number 5, is miscellaneous. This includes things like scooter rentals, gas for the scooters. I know it includes postcards and just other random things that I bought or had to pay for that didn't really fit into a particular category. And the total that I spent on miscellaneous purchases was 86 Canadian dollars. And the daily average for miscellaneous is about 3 Canadian dollars. So that is significantly lower than all of the other categories, but that's kind of just random stuff that you may need to pay for here and there. Category number 6 is health. And health is going to be including things such as my travel insurance, any extra medications that I need to buy, and if I, God forbid, have to go to the hospital or anything or go see a doctor, that will be included in this category as well. Thankfully, the only expense that I had in this category throughout my time in Thailand was my health insurance. I use a company called Safety Wing, which is a nomadic travel insurance company. They charge you monthly and you can renew your subscription every year. Now, I know in Canada, at least for me, it was very difficult to find a reasonably affordable travel insurance that would cover this amount of time. I know my bank would only cover like 6 weeks out of the year, and it was quite the challenge to find a travel insurance company that would cover me that wasn't going to be like thousands of dollars. So the total that I paid for my health insurance and my health category in general is 57 Canadian dollars total, which for travel insurance for a whole month, pretty solid. Category number 7 is clothing. Now, as far as clothing, I did need to buy a few specific things while I was in Thailand, one of which was a rain jacket, and then I bought a few other things as well. And now, if you like shopping, you're definitely going to need to probably budget a little bit more than I did, but I am living out of a backpack, so I literally cannot buy clothes unless I absolutely need them. And the total that I spent on clothing in Thailand was 57 Canadian dollars. Now, I definitely could have spent less, but I did buy a very nice rain jacket that I liked a lot. So I spent a little bit more than I would have. And my daily average for clothing is 2 Canadian dollars. Yeah, if you like to shop, budget more than that. That's just because I didn't buy anything other than a rain jacket. Category number 8. That category was my mobile phone, so my SIM card. Now, I made a rookie mistake, but it was a rookie mistake that I was totally okay with, and I did buy my SIM card right when I was leaving the airport. If you go into the city, you can get your SIM card for so much cheaper than I did. But it was my first solo international trip abroad. It was my first time landing in a new country completely by myself. And I wanted to make sure that I had data on my phone from the airport to my hostel just in case anything happened. So I did buy a SIM card at the airport. I believe I went with Smile, maybe. Basically, there was a whole bunch of different vendors, and I just walked up to the one that had the most people there because I figured that was probably going to be the best service. And for the total that I spent on my 30-day cell phone plan was 40 Canadian dollars. Which is definitely expensive now that I know better. But for a Canadian, if you don't know, Canada has the most expensive phone plans in the entire world. I had just canceled my phone plan where I was paying 160 Canadian dollars a month for less data than I'm getting in Thailand. $40. I was like, that's a steal. Are you kidding me? You're gonna give me 40 gigabytes of data for $40? What? But now I know that I can literally get data for like $6, so yeah, that's all right. And the daily average for my cell phone was around 2 Canadian dollars a day. So take with that what you will. But remember, if you can make it to your hostel, do not buy a SIM card at the airport, because somebody I know got the exact same plan that I did for $6 instead of $40. That's okay. That's okay. And my final category number 9, is laundry. This category I spent the least amount of money on, and I could definitely have done it even cheaper. I always got my laundry done at my hostel, which meant somebody else did it for me and I would just pay them, they would fold it. It made it so easy. But if you do want to do laundry yourself, there are plenty of laundromats, and you can by far make this much cheaper than I did, because I was being a little lazy and I did not want to do my own laundry. I did do my own laundry once though, but that was because the hostel I was at didn't offer laundry services. That's okay. So the total that I spent on laundry in my time in Thailand was 19 Canadian dollars, which is very good for having somebody do your laundry all the time. And I would say I would probably do laundry maybe once a week, once every week and a half or so. Now, at hostels and at laundry services here, they do charge per kilogram, so the less amount that you have, the less it's going to cost. I would say usually when I was doing laundry, I was doing anywhere between 3 kgs to 5 kgs, and my daily average for laundry was 66 cents Canadian. Okay, and the moment we have all been waiting for, the grand total of what I spent in 27 days in the north of Thailand. Drumroll. I spent 1,500 Canadian dollars in total. Could I have done this a little cheaper? I think I could have, but also this was my first country, my first time solo traveling. I didn't do everything perfectly, and there were a few expenses that I feel like I could have done better on, but given the circumstances, $1,500 is really, really good. And believe it or not, Thailand ended up being my cheapest country so far, which I was even surprised by. I thought Thailand was going to be the most expensive. And my total daily average ends up coming out to 51 Canadian dollars per day. I was aiming for around 40 Canadian dollars per day, but 50 is still pretty good. Now, I'm going to tell you the most expensive place and the least expensive place that I went to in the country. The most expensive being Bangkok. That's not surprising. Bangkok is a very big city and there's lots to do there. Food ends up being a little bit more expensive, and accommodation ends up being a little bit more expensive depending on the area that you're in. So if you're really looking to budget, I wouldn't recommend spending too much time in Bangkok, because things do start adding up after a while. And the least expensive place that I went to in Thailand was Pai. In Pai, I think I was averaging around $32 to $35 a day, which was below my daily budget. But remember, Pai is a very lazy town. What you do there is mostly just hang out in a hammock, chill, ride a scooter, eat food, do yoga. So it does bring down the costs quite a bit when you're not doing very much. And yeah, that's pretty much it for my total budget breakdown of northern Thailand. I do want to tell you a little bit about the app that I use to track my budget. It is called Tripcoin and I absolutely love it. It is so good. On Tripcoin, you can create different trips, and then within those trips, you can put your budget in any currency in the entire world. It will convert it into any currency in the entire world as well, which makes it super easy. It will automatically break it down into categories for you convert the currencies. You can input in multiple different currencies. It's just amazing. I absolutely love it. So that is how I have been tracking my budget, and I don't have to use a spreadsheet like a lot of people do because the app does it all for me, which is absolutely amazing. So I would definitely recommend downloading Tripcoin for your next trip if you want to help yourself stay on budget, because it has really helped me so far. Okay, and I think that's everything. My camera is about to run out of space, so I do need to wrap this up quickly. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really hope it helps, and I hope you come away from this feeling a little bit more prepared for your budgeting for your next trip to Thailand. Again, if you guys are interested, please like this video and subscribe. I will be posting more videos like this as well as travel vlogs once a week. I hope you guys have an amazing day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye!